here we have 2 pieces of nice cut prime rib. Get this from the store, you know, depending on how much you actually want to cook. Cooking for 2 people, I'm making a friend of mine 2 steaks with roasted potatoes that we have in the oven. You can season them any 10 different kinds of ways. Make sure your work surface is always clean. I always like using fresh garlic. Put your garlic on there. Make sure that's nice and covered, just how you like it. Front, back, side to side. Do that. Always keep constantly, even though you have gloves on, you don't want to touch any contact surfaces with protein. Always want to take and make sure you keep your gloves nice and clean, especially when you're picking up different things like black pepper. I like using fresh cracked black pepper. It gives a very distinct taste as opposed to already cracked black pepper. Season your steaks up nice and roundabout. Your garlic, cracked black pepper. I'm using a bowl so I can cover both sides of the steak nice and easily without getting a lot of splatter anywhere. So as you can see, that has a nice graininess to it and has a nice marbling in the meat. If you're on a low sodium diet, you can use sea salt. I like using sea salt. And just coat your steak top and bottom. Nice and easy. If you have a grill, these come out really nice on a grill. I don't have a grill, I'm in my home. Always clean as you go. Never leave anything out. Always put things up. You let your steak rest. We call it resting. And you just let it sit there for a while as it soaks up all the spices. I'm going to put a little Italian seasonings on this. Let those herbs soak in, top and bottom. And then I'm going to put some on after the steak after I fully cook them. We're waiting on the roasted potatoes to cook. So you take this and never let your meat sit out for more than 4 hours or more than 30 minutes. The longer it sits out, the more bacteria grows in it. Now that we've done that, always wash off any surface that you cultivate to bacteria. Possibly. That's frozen corn. It's fast and it's great value. That's not so much as it being frozen corn, it's how you're doing the corn that counts. There's a couple things you can do since it is frozen. Put a little water in it. Put some seasonings in it. Some seasonings you don't need to know what they are, just have them. Give that nice robust taste to them. It's about what you want to put in it to make it nice. Corn is never good without any salt. Don't need any black pepper in that, so we let that sit off to the side. And then, since we are cooking these steaks well done, or medium well, no pink in them, we're going to start that process now. So what you want to do is you want to take your oil into your pan. If your pan has a little bit of water in it, if you have true olive oil, the water will will jump out of the pan. You want to put your heat on low if you have fire. If you have just a regular electric burning grill, or if you have a regular electric grill, you can use your grill. If you have a regular electric stove, you want to coat your pan evenly with olive oil or blended oil. Use a nice non-stick pan. You don't have to worry about your steak sticking to it or anything sticking to it. Nice and hot. But you have to season your pan. And what I mean by seasoning the pan, it means coat it with a nice olive oil. Keep it to where it's like that. Even when it's just sitting and you don't have anything in it, just keep it nice and basted with a little bit of olive oil so that your pan doesn't rust if you get scratches or nicks in it. Always use a wooden or a plastic spoon when you deal with non-stick Corningware. It's not ready yet. You can tell when it's not ready because when you dip the edge of your steak in there, it should sizzle. Let's drop our steak in there. Get that nice sizzle going.
Smells really good.
Don't make anything bad. Our potatoes are still cooking. I'm touching this with my bare hands only because it's in the oven and it has to cook. And it's cooking immediately. But even after that, it's still water. Tongs. Get you a nice crust of garlic on your steak. You can see it starting to get a little brown around the edges, if you can see that. Starting to get a little brown around the edges. The nice flavors are starting to come up on out of it. So then, we get a nice crust on our steak and flip it over. Get that nice sizzle. This is blended oil and balsamic glaze. You can buy balsamic glaze, or you can make balsamic glaze out of balsamic vinegar. Reduce it down with some sugar, fresh garlic. Fresh basil. Fresh freeze-dried basil, rather. Regular spoon. Mix this up. You can put this on bread, regular bread, dinner rolls. You chop this up. It's the same mix that they have at the nice restaurants, and you dip the bread at the beginning and da-da-da-da. That's it right there. A little more oil. Some people like a little more oil. Some people don't like a lot of oil. I'm not a big fan of oil. A little bit of salt. Turn our temp down a little bit and slow cook our steaks. Once we have that, oh, perfect. Perfect. Keep turning your steak. So we use a nice even cook on it. Only one, we're making 2 plates, so only 1 piece of sausage. Set this off to the side. French knife. Sausage. Cut that up. You can use any kind of sausage. This is country sausage, spicy country sausage. We're going to mix this with our potatoes after we take our steak out of here. Our steak is just about done. Once we take our steak out of here, we'll set our steak off to rest, off to the side. And you can look at that. See, that's nice and juicy because it's still dripping. I'm going to put that in our container here. I'm going to take our other steak. I'm going to leave all those drippings and everything right in that pan. And our steak is about medium well right here. Even though it didn't cook that long, it's not that thick of a steak, it's not that thin of a steak. So then what we're going to do is we're going to let those drippings and that oil sizzle. We're going to throw our sausage in there. Get that nice and hot. Let that cook a little bit. Then we're going to take our herbs. I'm going to drip that right over the top of that steak. Over that herb and that oil, right over the top of that steak. And let that seep right in there. That's how you make a nice steak. Usually, I make this with a strawberry steak. Put some nice strawberries on it. Rinse our hands off. Get our carrot or corn going. Now the potatoes that I have are golden potatoes. They're not regular potatoes, but they're golden potatoes, which are really, really nice in texture. They're nice in flavor. They hold the flavor really well. Now we get our oven mitt, and we're going to take our potatoes that have been roasting in the oven out of the oven. They've only been roasting in here maybe 10-15 minutes. And as you can see, they're already starting to get nice and pliable and soft. They're still a little hard in a few places. But we're going to take those and we're going to drop those right in here. Then we're going to turn that heat up a little bit. Switch those around in there, and you can see all those herbs and spices in there. They're just mixed all together with these potatoes. Speed cook your potatoes, cut them really thin. The thicker they are, the longer they take to cook. I didn't have a lot of time. So I'm speed cooking my potatoes. You can also put a lid on your potatoes to make them cook faster because they'll steam. Our corn is ready. See how it gets the nice orange color to it from the seasoning that I put in it? And then what you do, you take and switch that around in there, and that water gets nice and hot. And we plate that with our steaks. Not too much, because you just want to give a regular portion, because it's supposed to just be steak and potatoes. But we're going to give them this Southwest corn, along with this steak and potatoes, so we don't have to worry about anything.